kills me. I'll be there. Whatever tomorrow may hold, I know you're the one for me, child. And when we're together, my love, you give me hope and a way to cope. Yeah, yeah. I'll be there. Ooh, I'll be there. And when I'm at home, I got no one to hold. Won't you tell me I'll be there? If my mind is reeling from the stress that I'm feeling, I need you. I'll be there. I just need your love, and I long for your touch. Won't you tell me I'll be there? Your loneliness kills me, but your loving it thrills me. Won't you speak those words? I'll be there. Whatever tomorrow may hold, I know you're the one for me, child. And when we're together, my love, you give me hope and a way to cope, yeah. Whenever you're lonely, just pick up the phone and call me. I'll be there. Girl, let me show you, you're my one and only. Like I told you, I'll be there. 'Cause if you get blue, I got the loving for you. I'll show, I'll be there. Your heartache, it kills me, but your loving, it thrills me. Yeah, I'll be there. Whatever tomorrow may hold, I know
Testing 1 2, testing 1 2.
you're the one for me, child. And when we're together, my love, you
All right, I think we got everything worked out.
and a way to cope, yeah, yeah.
And we're getting ready to start in just a minute. Let me see if I can get one more test here. See if I can wear headphones, if that helps. That just throws me off a little bit. You guys get to hear the music? I don't get to hear the music, sadly. Oh well. Such is life. Subscribe. Welcome to the channels. CD is here. Subscribe says nice music. Appreciate that. Listen to a little Motown tonight. CD is digging the vibes too. Donna likes the chill vibes. And Scribe says chilling like a villain. Let's see if we can get this stream started. And we got bubbles up. INJ is up. That looks good. OKB's doing pretty good again. All right. Nice little bump up in that today, looks like. How's everybody doing today? How are we all feeling? How's our portfolios looking? Bitcoin is just... Oh, it's been full of pleasant surprises, except for that big drop it had. I've been checking it out on the 1 minute here. Trying to get ready for a little scalping. Seeing if I can get into a little bit of a better position here. And let me just go over this scalping strategy kind of quickly. So when I start this out, you always want to look at a bigger time frame, see what's going on that. And checking on the 4 hour, it looks like it's trying to get ready to do something, right? And just kind of check the 2 hours, see how it's doing. It's starting to look a little bit better. Stochastics are down at the bottom. MACD is starting to, try to go up to the top. Checking the 1 hour, kind of the same thing. Got a little red dot there on that. That's why I'm having a little problem getting into it, but look at this beautiful green money flow there. I like to see that in the green. That tells me if we go down, it's not going to be quite so bad. So overall, may not find a great scalp to get in on, but I'm looking. So I come down to the 1 minute. So I've got a general feel. It may not go so good in this hour. Man, it's starting to say that. So where I was, we came down here, established a trend line. So I drew a trend line there and just kind of watched it. And what I do is I wait for it to break structure. And then when it breaks structure, that's my signal to get out of that trade where if I'm at. So that's a great place to start taking profit. You want to take some a little bit before. How I usually like to do this is put a stop loss. Just move my stop loss up somewhere underneath this trend line. And then also I watch it closely to see whether it's going to come down or if it's going to go up. And then I can take more profit or close the trade out when it comes up, or just let my stop loss get me. But when you do this, let's see, where's all my tools at? So if you get in somewhere through here, and let's say you get out somewhere through here, Now it's 1.2%, but when you're applying leverage, when you're doing perpetuals, say at 20x would give you, a 20% return, 10x would give you a 10x return. So, just scalping those as best that you can. And so the deal is with that, and I'm paying close attention to moving averages. I do like my moving averages. So once that happens, I do a Fibonacci. And let me get rid of the one that I have currently. I don't want to confuse anybody. So I pull a Fibonacci from the swing high or swing low to swing high to the one that we had. And it gives me some ranges where I can expect price to pull back. And I watch that very closely. Because normally we would expect to come back to 618 or at least down to the 0.5. Because it's usually you're going to get one of those two on a typical good run. But if we start getting some support on a 236 area, it starts piquing my interest because that can mean a stronger move to the upside. So it came down to that area. And then it came back up and retested this trend line. And that works beautifully. You see that. So when you break the trend line, you're either going sideways down or maybe coming back up to it, but you usually do not break above that trend line. Okay, so once we get this established, we got a new top. So I've got to see what's going to happen here. So at this point, let me get rid of that Fibonacci. Let me see. Let's get rid of that. Let's move this over here so we can't really see what's going on. So I'm looking at this leg. We had this bottom here. That's a 236 area. Grab a Fibonacci from that, put it at the bottom, grab it up toward the top. And let's see what areas it gives me. Because what I'm looking for when I do that from low to high, after we broke structure, I'm eyeballing this 1.27 area. And that's what it did. It came back down to this 1.27 area. And also, if it breaks below that, I'm looking at the 1.41. Hit that beautifully. So these three areas are my three main targets after we break structure. And I take a fib from the low high, or from the low up to the new high. And then once we establish that bottom, I get rid of this fib. Then I pull from the swing high down to that swing low. And I'm starting to eyeball this 618. And we did not make it up there. And looks like we are trailing below this 382. So I am actually expecting more downward action from this, possibly down to this negative 0.27. These have flipped now. It was a 1.27 the way I was measuring over here. When you're measuring from swing high to swing low, I'm using the negative 0.27. Let me change that one. I've got the wrong one in there. I got a negative 382. Where you at? I need to add one, and this is how you change them around. I want a negative 0.0. 414. Keep that a little symmetrical. And looks like we're pretty much the same color scheme there, so. And I want to take that 382 off. Okay, now this is symmetrical with what I have on the other side. And so I'm looking for price to actually come down here at 30,179. This is just going by fibs, just by fibs alone. And we can also look over to the left, get support, but this is my scalping strategy basically. And just by it judging that we didn't get above that 382, I'm looking for some more downward action. 3,197 or 3,089 would be my targets. So it could short, but you know, I don't like to short go against the trend because overall we're in a bullish trend and I usually get spanked when I do that. Your place to short would have been perfectly up here if you were looking to do a short and you get a retest from that initial trend line. When it retests it, and then if it comes back even higher, both of these were great areas to take a short in my opinion. All right, so that's my little scalping strategy in a nutshell basically. And relying heavily on fibs and relying heavily on trend lines. And let's see, I could at this point play around with trend lines and see if I come up with any kind of other structure. And it looks like, are we working on a wedge pattern? Not really. Possibly this way. Got a little something there. And so what could happen, we're getting rejected here, and with this falling wedge pattern, and that would fit in perfect. We came down here and found support. So we might get support here and break out to the upside, maybe up to the 618 area. I'd have to take another fib at that point to really get a good target. But that's kind of how I play my scalping on the 1 minute time frame anyway. And Scribe says, thanks for the welcome, voiceover vibes. Man, I wish I could hear this music. If I turn it up, it's going to get an echo. All right. And CD says, maybe a little on the drop today in a short. Oh, you are in a short now. Cool. Probably exiting a bit. Yeah, it looks like this may be a good target to look for right around this area. But yeah, you're definitely in a good on the 1 minute for a short. You're still in a good range there. And Havid says, evening all. How you doing, Havid? Good to have you here. CD says, I was thinking about 30,250, so that's great news. Yeah, that would be a good area too. That comes down just a little below where it bottomed out right here. According on my chart. Now, your chart could be different, depends on what exchange you're on and what trading pair. And I'm Bitcoin on Tether over on KuCoin. If I put it on MexC, I'd have different numbers. And that's why it's important to look at your own charts to come up with your own targets and everything. Because there can be those minor differences, and then of course exchanges can be a little different with their liquidity and things. And Scribe's asking, which platform do I trade on? Mostly I trade KuCoin, but I've been playing around. KuCoin's where I've got the majority of my trading accounts. Every once in a while, I'll use crypto.com. That's just because it's just an easy place to onboard cash. So sometimes I get lazy where I don't want to move money over to KuCoin or somewhere, and I might put some market orders, put some limit orders in there, even though they have a higher spread. But KuCoin mostly, and then also MexC. I've been really starting to like MexC lately. They just seem to have a lot more tools and a lot more ways to help you track your accounts, your profit and loss and all that. And it's a lot easier to navigate, at least the apps are. Now, I use KuCoin, mostly the mobile app. I'm not a big fan of their browser. Now, they might have a Windows application to download. I can't remember if they do or not. It seems like they might. I may have to look in on that. But the browser, man, it's just hard for me to navigate. And that's sad because I want to use that actually on these live streams. And it doesn't make it easy for me. Let's see what we can do here. Yeah, it's easy for me to pull up, but it's so hard to navigate on this little guy. So I'm having to get a little bit used to that. But I do have, and it's so, I can't control the, I'd like to make this a dark screen. I don't really like all this flashing in my eyes like this. But this was an account I set up last fall sometime. I think I put like 2,000, maybe up to 2,500. I may have done I may have added some more. I have to take a look. And I haven't been doing a whole lot with it, but I have been doing futures. I put like $250 over in futures and just dilly-dallying with it. I really do not keep up with it very much, and I'm using a little bit of a different strategy over here where I don't have to manage it. And it's actually done pretty decent. I've actually had a better run as far as trading over here by not messing so much with it than I have on my other account that I mess with all the time. So I've got this set up, and hopefully if we're going to across some good setups or things like that, I could either look at, doing some live perpetual trades on screen, or maybe some margin. KuCoin, you got perpetuals that you can go into, and those are the riskiest ones to be in. That's where you can get really easily liquidated, and sometimes you can get up to 100x and things like that. On this account, it is not verified, so 5x is as high as I can go on perpetuals, and that's cool. That's safe, and I've had good luck with that. But I also like just their spot margin, and I like to use that on my regular personal account to build my bags, and that's something that I think some of you guys could probably, if you're not used to it and it is unfamiliar with you, that's a good little technique, especially if you use a small amount, to build some good sized bags. The isolated margin and also the cross margin. And I've touched on that a little bit on some of the live streams, but I'd really like to show that example for some people, especially some of the people asking about that in our trading group. All right. Now I'm going to back out just a minute, and if you guys got any kind of coins that you want to take a look at, I am all for doing that. That's one of the things about a live stream, is that you get a group of people together and just sharing information. And when I've watched live streams before, I always thought that was one of the coolest things, one of the helpful things, because you get exposed to things that you normally think about or normally see. And me too, when you guys bring up some coins, a lot of the cool coins that I've found or been exposed to have been from you guys just sharing, or you guys asking me to do a review on a coin. It just helps everybody. But let's see what's going on with Bitcoin, and then we can kind of get a feel for the alts on the daily. It's saying it wants to come down. Okay, so stochastics are at the top. We got the red dot on market cipher, or VMC, indicate we're going to come down. Volume weighted average price, VWAP, is starting to come down, but money flow is in the green. So what typically happens is that we get red light, green light here. We'll get a red dot, come down a little bit, get a green dot, and we'll kind of trade up through here, kind of like what we did over here. But I expect maybe, since we got money flow in the green here, it will look, well, could still do that. But a lot of times you might see something like over here, red dot, green dot, red dot, green dot. That's what I'm hoping for. And we'll just have to see how that plays out. Maybe some of the lower time frames will give us some information, but there's some things here telling me that we may not come down too far. And if anything, well, let's see if we can extract some more information. I would be looking at a retest of this area, about 28.5, and if we lose that, it's going to be bad. But the chances are, most likely, we will find support in that area, or maybe up here, either at the top of these wicks, about 28.9, 28.8. And our candle closes there about 28.5. So right through there, basically, and we can also go by moving averages, the green and the red. That's the 9 moving average and the 21 moving average. However you want to look at that, the price will always come back and retest these moving averages, so they make excellent points of support. And that green one's coming in at 29,350. The red one, look over here, we got 28,558. Lines up with what we got over here too. So it's going to be an interesting weekend. Hopefully, we'll just trade sideways. We can come down, trade in that range, and if we can get Bitcoin dominance, that's something we got to pay attention to. Where are you, Bitcoin dominance? Right here. It's just coming down, and that's why our alts are starting to look a little better. So this is what I really got my eye on. Thought that we may come back and retest this trend line, and we still might. It may not be this weekend. It may be over the week. So I've got my eyes on that. Let's see if we can get any more information here, because this is what kicks off our alt season, is Bitcoin dominance. And if Bitcoin will trade sideways, and if it will break down out of this currently bearish pattern, this rising channel, and start working its way, where's my little drawing to? Working its way down to the bottom of this pattern, that will be a nice little mini altcoin season. Now, this is also in a bearish pattern, and if we get really lucky and it breaks to the downside of that, we could be looking at a mega altcoin season, or one that we haven't, a better one than we've seen in quite a while. So all eyes pretty much on Bitcoin, hoping that it will trade sideways, and on Bitcoin dominance, hoping that it'll just keep coming down. And on the daily, you know, we could still come down some more. Would love to break that trend line. Thanks for the non-financial advice. My crypto opinion, yeah. Can you take a look at Luxo? They have the mainnet coming out soon. Awesome. I think I heard something about that. I don't think I have any of that one. Let's definitely take a look at it. I think I've seen some setups with, yeah, definitely LYX. I think I do have some. I've got my personal account is my DGen account, and I went hard, and I've got that account scattered over way too many coins. But I know I'm prone to do that, so that's why I have that separate account for that. But man, I've just spread that way too thin, I think. All right, currently, rising broadening wedge, or ascending wedge, as Charting Crypto likes to call it, and I kind of like that. This is normally a bearish pattern, breaking to the downside, and it has a measured move. You know, you could take that and come down here. It usually doesn't make it all the way down to the bottom of it. So you can actually take a measured move closer to the front of it. And you could go for it with a touch. A good rule is to find a touch, either on top or bottom, and then just drag it straight up to your other opposing line. And that would make a decent measured move, and then put it where it breaks out. That'd bring it down, but just because it's in a bearish pattern doesn't mean it's going to come down this way. So what I'm seeing on here, the daily's looking kind of spent. So looking for a retrace, but this 200 moving average is what I'm really looking at. And that's this yellow line. That's holding very well. And honestly, what I'm seeing now, it will most likely come down to this area. And we got 3 moving averages right together. I call it a trifecta. That's 3 layers of support. So the chances of it breaking down past that 50 is a little slim. So about $9.18 on up to $9.57. That's where I expect it to probably just come back and retest, and it should bounce back up from that. And we can draw some trend lines. That's just a flat. This is what we call a partial decline, and this could also be another area. It could actually come back down and retest this area too, 7,891. It's a possibility. But McLeod's saying it probably won't. You usually don't see price break out of the red cloud and then drop back down into it. You usually don't see that. Look back here. It usually spits you out on the other side. Usually keeps you there. So it may just trickle down. It usually comes down in a green cloud. So have to see how that plays back. A little bit of a retracement, but I would say probably about 957 might be as far as it gets. So if it breaks to the upside of this, that's going to be extremely bullish. And with it making what we call the partial decline, that's the preemptive phases of this pattern breaking out to the upside. When it comes down about halfway, catches there, and then it can go on up, and then it can break out of that pattern, flip it for support. Let's go ahead and extend that. And then that will get crazy bullish. Okay, and we could see, that's where we want to take our fib over here. And start eyeballing this 618, about $27. And possibly up here, definitely this 2253 area. So those are some good targets to work into whatever strategy you're working on for. Some possible tracements there. And fibs are excellent for finding support and resistance areas. Just excellent. Also look left and get these, and they usually line up very well too. Look to the left. And that one matches up perfectly right here with that fib. This fib matches up real perfectly with this area right here. So fibs are awesome. It's just a little shortcut. Fibs, moving averages, support and resistance from the past over to the left. Lots of different ways to come up with your targets there. But if you ask me, I think it looks good. Just probably going to trade sideways for a little bit, kind of work out through this area here. But look, money flow starting to come up. VWAP's already started to curve. It looks like the red light, green light game on this one too. So maybe just a little sideways action this weekend, and just take a closer look here on the 4 hour. So we've broken structure from that line. However, if we take it from over here, that would kind of line up with some of those areas I think we were talking about earlier. Just like to look a little closer. Let me get rid of that. Take a little Fibonacci there. So measuring from swing high to swing low, we're above the 618. That's a good sign, actually. So it would be awesome if we find support there. If we don't, this little Ichimoku cloud, which green would just drag us into it, but it's kind of thinning out there. So we might find support there. And it has it regained its support. 4 hours starting to look good. 4 hours even got a green dot, even though the daily was looking bad. Still looks like it's very possible to go sideways, but we may get a little breakup. Cloud suggests that you might happen. Might come up to this area here about 1157. That would be awesome. But no matter how I do this, going from wicks, playing around with the wicks, kind of a rising wedge pattern there that is bullish, can break to the downside. And that could give us a retest of this 200 on the 4 hour. So as the closer that this green cloud gets to the price action, the more likely it is for price to come down into that. And that could bring us down to these areas. So the daily says we're coming down. 4 hour says we got a chance to maybe trade a little sideways here. But 4 hours not looking bad at all in my opinion, but it could just easily flip back to the red and do the sideways movement. Donna asks, could you set some take profits and scale out gradually all the way up? That's usually what I do. You're talking about, on any project anything that you're looking at. If I were trading, let's go over here to the daily. So if I were trading this and I had these set as profits, and I think I understand what you're saying, and this was my trade, I would be looking at this, and that would give me some confidence for these areas. So I'd be eyeballing this $20 and this $22 areas. Well, all these three areas. That's how I like to do it. I just like take a little bit out here, a little bit more here, a little bit more there. I like to scale out when I do that. When I'm trading and when I'm managing my trades, and at some point it's going to come back down. So if I'm selling at those points, I can still, increase my position when it comes back for a retest, or just take my profits and move them into something else, another trade or something if I want. But usually about this stage of the market, I'm trying to build bags if I'm taking profits. Havid asking, do Mina Protocol. Let's do Mina Protocol. And Mina, let's do this over here. Take a look at it over on CoinMarketCap. So I'm not as familiar with it. I have heard about it. So it's been around a while. It just hasn't been on KuCoin very long. Let's see if we can find more history here. And Binance is probably a good one to go with. Oh yeah, look at that. That's what I need. I need some data to work with. Ooh, that one has failed. So it got up to what, 664, and we're trading at what, 80 cents right now? It's got a possibility to possibly make it up to that all-time high again, or possibly past it. Just depends on how strong this market is going to be for this bull run. Right now it's looking like Bitcoin and possibly Ethereum are going to be the biggest winners at the moment. That's where I'm kind of leaning, but we'll just see. Okay, so long-term targets, definitely want to target your 618 and your 0.5 off the rip. This area, the 382, corresponds with this over here. This is a big support resistance area right through there. Actually, draw it right like that. So those are all good take profit areas off the rip for a longer term hold. And we are still on the weekly. Indicators are saying it's going to be coming down just a little bit, so it appears that we're trying to do the little rounding bottom type thing. And this time in the market, you know, after I'm pretty confident that we've made our bottom in Bitcoin, but we can still catch some of these altcoins bottoming out. So we're still in a good spot to actually build some bags. A lot of these coins are still in the bottom area, so don't think you've missed it on altcoins. Some of them have taken off, but not all of them. Some of these smaller ones that can really give us the most returns still around these areas, right? And so this got some signs that I generally like to look for as far as a bottoming structure. Let me take a look on the daily. That's what I'm looking for right there. So when I find these rounding bottoms, kind of like that, and of course, you know, working from the weekly to the daily, it kind of screws up your lines just a little bit. That one still looks in line with this over here. I'm not going to change it or anything. I just want a kind of a rough estimate there. But the biggest thing is it's over the 200 on the daily. Bullish. That's what you want. So when you're looking at these rounding shapes and get into it before it gets up past the 200, when it starts looking like these moving averages are heading up there, on the daily, you want to go to the 4 hour. And when it crosses over on the 4 hour, that's your first initial buy signal. So you could have nailed it right down here, about 50 cents doing that. Could have took a chance on it over here. But going by my little falling wedge strategy there and seeing this, that's, if I were paying attention to this at the time, that's where I would try to nail my sniper into, or my position entry, whatever you want to call it. Hindsight's always 50-50 though. But that's my general strategy if you get into it at that time. Now we're above the 200 and that's great. So we came down, retested it, and it looks like we're possibly going to come down. Maybe, are we going to retest it again? That's what I'm asking. Let's take let me do a few little fibs here. Okay, so came down to 786. That's good. Bounced up there, finding support at the 618. So that looks good. It doesn't look like it's going to come down anymore. And this is where I like to look at my moving averages at this time in the market, and at these structures and things like this, I'm paying more attention to my moving averages. And you see the 9 getting ready to cross over the 21. That's going to be bullish. Price has already come down, or it looks like it's successfully tested the 20 or the 100, or is working on it. It's broke above the 50. So these are some good signs. This one's it can start to curve up there. But it looks like our moving averages are starting to get lined up here. When that green one crosses the red one, that's going to be a good sign. Eventually, the red will cross over the white, and we'll start lining up in this color order over here. So those are some good signs. But there's a possibility it could just be trading sideways for a little bit, but eventually this cloud's going to spit us out on the other side there. So let's see if we can get you some targets. I'll do some fibs on some of these lower legs too, but just overall, 126 definitely in that area. And this is a very simple, very good way to find targets. -27s, 414s, and the 618s. They play out. Sometimes it'll take these a long time to get there, usually, but eventually they will. Now, in a moment, if I can remember, I'll look at an old Bitcoin chart that I think I had these on back in October just to show how well that they've lined up over time. So those are some good targets. Check price action here. So here when it came up to the 50% mark, found support here. Kind of struggling just a little bit there, huh? And from this leg, found support on the 618, so that's the good sign. I think I already did this, right? That's given me some promise for a little bit of upward movement here. Upward and sideways, it's starting to look like this weekend's going to be more of a sideways movement. So far from what I can see. Pattern-wise, candle bodies there. We got that breakout, so that's very good. And this is going to be kind of a falling wedge pattern, so we can take a measured move there. This is initially, if you're looking for an immediate target, that's what I look at. Lines up with this fib area, 126. That's what I would shoot for. Donna says, yeah, went in a lot of tokens. Okay. Yeah. Scaling out. One thing, I was talking to you earlier today, Donna, you were mentioning about scaling out things and setting the fib levels and stuff. And I did that the last run too. And if you remember that run wasn't as great with altcoins. So there were a lot of targets that I had that didn't get hit. And I was kind of disappointed with that. So this time, my strategy, I'm going to set my targets just a little bit lower, set my expectations a little bit lower, because I want to get that profit, and then I want to be a little bit more active as far as rolling it into something else, or maybe rolling it back into that same project. But I remember last strategy, I went from the highs to the lows and pretty much set my main targets at all the main fib levels. And I was disappointed that, you know, on a lot of coins, a lot of those targets just didn't get hit. So that might be something to just to think about in case we, you know, because last time Bitcoin stole the show. And it just seems like we may run into a similar situation like that this run. Of course, usually after Bitcoin tops out, we got about a month to really take advantage of a altcoin season, because we usually have one about a month after Bitcoin tops. But yeah, when this run started, let's say Bitcoin was at 12,000 here, and that was October. It was November 2020 when we came up to about 19. We broke our all-time highs, looking good. And then December to January 7th, that was so short, just a matter of just a few weeks, ran up to 40,000. Seems like this was when we had this big, huge pullback. That was the minor sell-off, and that seemed scary because we just dropped all the way back to around 30,000. Big, huge drop, got us all nervous. That was not fun. And then, of course, we took off again, and this whole run just seemed really quick. It just did. And then after, you know, we hit this high, and I just piddled out. This was torture, pure torture all that summer. And then this was very disappointing. And give me a second to find my mouse. Donna says, my original investment is usually out somewhere near the bottom, and I only say the scraps were the highest targets. That's nothing wrong with that strategy at all. You got moonbags. That's what it sounds like. And I like moonbags. I think moonbags are one of your most successful strategies that you can do. And this is this is still a good time in the market to build them. And if you don't know what a moonbag is, that's just where you're able to take out all the cap. If you put $500 into the project, and once it doubles, or maybe you get lucky and it does a little bit more than doubles, do your 2x, pull your profit out, set it aside, put that profit into something else, just keep doing that. And you got basically free crypto that you can ride up on the bull market and just sell it off little by little, as you need it or as it goes, as it tops out. And those have been some of the best performers in my experience. All right. If anybody else has got anything, let me know. If I don't see them, any requests coming out, I'm taking a look at basically some KuCoin markets here. Taking a look and seeing what's up and what's down. Jasmine do something big today. Looks big here. Doesn't look big on the chart. Let's get over here on the 1 hour. Oh, that's the 3S. Okay, I need to pull this over so I can see that a little bit more. 3S shorts down. Okay. Darn, I thought Jasmine hit 11 cents. I thought that's a huge move. It was about 5 or 6 cents. So a lot of these shorts are up. People are shorting the altcoins right now. Hi, punks. Well, the punks are starting to move. It's a nice rounded shape. So these are fractionalized NFTs. I think this is for the crypto punks. I do like that rounding shape. That's really nice. If that were to come back and retest these moving averages, because they're all bunched in together, that might be a good time to get in on this. About 17 cents, 17 and a half cents. That would be a great area. Label that buy zone right there. So I think I want to post some of these charts that I do tonight and put them over in our Telegram group. Of course, I'm not going to have enough time to actually put down instructions on them or anything. Let's do that. So I always have trouble finding that when I see this chart room right there. And go to the trade setups and let's just post that little baby. And this was Hypunks. Buy opportunity at can't spell tonight. Go ahead and post that one there. Just put a few little trade setups because this one looks like a good one. It's worth following. All right. And looks like we got 5 people. Awesome. I'm blessed to have you here. Thank you so much for being here. If possible, if you could, just to help this get out to other people, if you could hit that like button, that would help me out very much. For those of you out there that have been hitting that like button, I just want to say thank you. Thank you very much. Now, let me take a look. Find some coins that we can take a look at. And like I said, if you guys want to take a look at anything, feel free to hit me up. But there were a few, I believe, that I was going to take a look at. Pull up my little list. Go with our volume here. I like to look at volume and see what everybody's trading. So we got SOS. Ooh, that one's been beat way down. It's starting to level out. Don't know anything about this coin, but possible rounding shape there. Now that's a bullish pattern, and it looks like we're getting the partial decline at this area that's holding support. See if we can mark that little guy. And this is one of those that can possibly wick up. So this one has got to have a ton of coins to be this cheap. Sometimes you can find these, and if you're willing to take the risk and you're a degenerate trader, you can get in at some of these bottoms here. And this one looks like it may possibly be at a good bottom area. Let's just take a quick fib there. I don't think it can go below zero. We would hope that it wouldn't. It is really close to zero where it is. But, you know, sometimes you can take these and you pull a fib, just layer some sell orders all the way up here to the top of that wick, and, you know, you can get lucky and just have all those orders filled. It's a possibility. It's a little risky to do that, but, you know, when we degen, we like to degen, but you can get up to 400%. You can get almost a 4x out of this guy. Interesting. No, I'm not going to do it, though. Donna says NEBL. That's one I am not familiar with. Niblio. And Donna Europro and Gate.io, I think. So let's go with that one. Let's see what this one's about. Let's see what SOS is about first. I've got to see how many coins that one's got. It's got to have a ton of them. SOS. Is it Soul Starter? I've already moved off of it over there. Okay, this is not going to work out for me. Or open down. I don't know. That's probably it at 75 trillion. Or is it trillion or bigger than trillion? This is trillion. That's too dang many. Okay. All right, so let's look at NEBL. Neblio. So where is this? What chain is this? It's its own chain, I guess. I don't see any contracts. Total supply. Ooh, nice one. Donna. How do you find all these? Donna is our resident gem picker. When you're looking for a really interesting coin, you need to hit her up. She comes up with some really cool looking ones. That's already up 51% today. 19 million total supply, circulating supply, 19 million. Maximum supply is a little iffy, so it's not telling me how many can be out total circulation. The white paper may do that. So we run across the coins, make sure that you look at maximum supply. We got to figure out what that is, because if this is infinity, there's no telling how many they're going to print, and they usually will have a burn cycle or something like that. But there's a low supply of this. It's 11 million market cap, so this one is interesting. Recently got up to about 80 cents or something, right? Where is our all-time high? It's like they hide this on CoinMarket. All-time high was $64.87, and that was 5 years ago. So the last bull market, they did not make it back up there. And I would say they had a lower circulating supply. But the coin's that old, and it's only got 19 million out. Is this a proof of work coin? Now you got my interest peaked. I've got to see what this is now. Scribe asked about Doge. I'll get that as soon as I get over this one. Donna says they've been extremely active on GitHub over the past year. That's always a great sign. Stoke RSI and the regular RSI are oversold in larger time frames, and she's risking a few dollars. Something she learned for you. Let's see. Distributed high performance blockchain, so it's its own layer one, looks like. Okay. I want to find out about. Donna, do you know if this is. That's not good. What happened here? Where's our white paper? Govern with I. That's INJ there. Open source, decentralized, secure blockchain built for a wide variety. Yeah, okay. Are you proof of stake? Are you? That's a low supply for proof of stake, it seems. Okay, supports tokenization of both physical and digital assets. Wallets. Okay, I'm not finding the information I need there. I don't want to spend too much time. We can do a deep dive. That might be one that's worth taking a look at. We doing a video on. It looked interesting. So so it hasn't been on Gate.io that long, has it? If it started in 2018, right? See if we can find some more history here. Binance would probably be the best. Binance doesn't have a whole lot either, does it? Go back over to Gate.io. What else do we have? Don't think BitGet would have any. That's wrapped. Binance has got to be the biggest one. We'll look at BitGet. Nothing extra there. Okay. So we broke this structure here. Let's see what's happened overall. The great symmetrical triangle. Doing a rabbit run. Can't see it making it down to the negatives there, but man, it's on a downward trajectory there. How far is this? So this is 56 cents, 19 million supply. Okay, let me just check out a few things here. don't think that's it. I think it's here. So what I'm doing is I'm just trying to find a trend line where I'm having the most touches so that I can get an angle, because I believe that these angles are very important. And when you get your trend lines just right, I mean, it will nail your support and resistance. So just nail it. It's amazing. So if you pay close attention to how you draw your trend lines, it can make you highly accurate. And so what I'll do is, once I find a good angle, I'll just test it out. I'll drag it down, see if I can get some touches. There's a good line of support there. That could give me some confidence for that idea. Bring it down a little bit more. Didn't mean to double it. See what else I get. So I got that close with this close. That's a little bit more confluence. These line up really nice, touches with that. So I'm pretty confident I got the right angle. And so this could actually be support where we're at there now. But if we lose that, we'd be looking at coming at least here. And there's no way that it could do that without just dying. I don't see that happening really. So chances are we may find support that we need right here. But let me see if I can find a little confluence, because there should be a Fibonacci for that. And I'm thinking a negative 2.7. Oh, right there. Right there. So we should be working with the Fibonacci from that leg then. Okay, so now we should have a bounce. We should have found support right here. So let's erase that one and draw a new Fibonacci. I'm going to go with this one here. There's a higher high over here, but the price just kept going up to here on that trend line. So I want to take that one. Somehow I lost my other trend line. Just drag that little baby back over there. Well, what it's telling me, it looks like it's, you know, if it finds support here, come up and retest the top of the trend line. That's close to the 618, so that's around the $1.16 to $1.35. And it being a falling channel, there's a chance that we can get a breakout there, right? Or it could come back down. If it does come back down, I would look for it trying to solidify a double bottom. We commonly see that happen, and that may be what happens there. And it may even do something like a, you know, flip support resistance. I mean, this is something could possibly see, like a lot of times with these falling channels, you will see them do like an inverted head and shoulders. It's projecting a little bit way too out, but just something to kind of keep an eye on. But more than likely, going back up to at least the top of the channel, about 116 to 135 is what I would see in the nearest term. And then from there, we can kind of figure out what it may do afterwards. But even that 96 cents would be a good little target if someone were to get in where it is now. What is it, about 54, 55 cents? I mean, just going back up to this area right here that we lost, flipping this area back into support. That little area right there, just reclaiming that was what, about 80%? 80%, 84%. That's not bad. Not bad at all. See what Donna finds? That's some good gains just where it is right now. That is pretty cool. Coming back up to 618. What is that? 155, 166%. Now, if it meets its measure move, we'll just take a conservative one right there. Pretend it breaks out. It's actually got confluence up here with this 127 area. And for anybody getting in now, if it were to do that, so that's a 328% over 3x return possible. That's an interesting setup. I'm going to write this little guy down so I can pay more attention to. Let's do something else. Let's see. I want to make a new watch list. So if you don't know how to make a watch list, let's go over it, because they're kind of cool. Because right here I got KuCoin USDT watch list, and I stole this from Sandwich Finance, which is right over here. I did that right before I went live. So you can go to Sandwich Finance and you can actually download list already made for whatever exchange that you're on, and it's really helpful. So you can get all markets or USD markets, Bitcoin markets, whatever they have. But you can also build your own, and I want to do that with this one. So I'm going to left click, and it should be on here somewhere. And it's not. But it usually is. Okay, add nibblets to watch list. I want to make a new watch list. So come up here, it says create new list, and I'm going to call this Donna's Picks. And I'm going to add that little guy there. So add to a watch list, and just click that, and it's there. Because I'm going to keep my eye on that one, Donna. That one's interesting, and I want to dig into it and see what it does and everything. But oh yeah, that's just it coming to. Even if it gets rejected there and goes south, chances are it's going to come up and retest that. And that was 88% return from where it is now. Can't beat that. Donna says, I'm only just come across it, so I haven't done loads of research yet. I think that one's it's worth looking at. It's definitely got degen vibes. And it's not on. It wasn't on KuCoin, was it? Even with the current range gate of our current range of gate, there's significant gains to be made. There is tremendous. This got awesome gains. And I said, so I'm to blame if it fails. I'll accept that. No. But you get all the credit. I see it doing good, at least short term. I mean, I don't know what the project is, but I like the chart. I mean, falling channel, and that's me going with the angles there. I mean, technically, you could take here and you can call it a falling wedge too, you know. And those have it. Both of these have, like, you know, close to a 70% chance to break to the upside. So I think that's a great one. Thank you, Donna. So I'm interested in the project now, just from what I'm seeing over here. And with it being out for so long, I'm curious about what that story is. I mean, it got up to $38 right here. And that was 2018 at the peak there. But man, it's like everybody forgot about it. It must have got delisted or something. Curious to find out about the history, but the last bull run, it just got up to $4. But even doing that from where it's at, that's almost a 10x right there. A 5x if we just get up half that much. So I'm really interested with 19 million supply. And when I first looked at it, I thought it was a proof of stake. Maybe they're going to unlock. But if it's been around for that long and it still just has 19,000 supply, it's worth looking into, doing a deep dive just to see what it's all about. So that's cool. Okay. Let's go back to the USD. No, let's take a look at the Bitcoin markets. So since Bitcoin dominance is kind of coming down just a little bit right now, I'm going to keep an eye on some of these Bitcoin pairs and see what we've got going on here. If anything's, so I'd like to do this on the exchanges too, when I'm just over there messing around. Is this my exchange? Hold your eyes, it's gonna be bright. But yeah, sometimes I like to go over to the markets there and just see what's in the green and what's hot, what's not. Let's see, so we go to spot. and check out categories, things like that. See what's up and what's not. And when you get the days, this is what my mentor was teaching me. That was one of his early strategies, is that he would just wait for there were double-digit green days. And so when you start seeing a lot more coins coming over here in the green on your exchange, those are usually some pretty decent trading days. This one, we're starting to get there. When we get a few little more, double digits there, usually have a little bit better trading. So I'm curious to see how trading is going to go this weekend. I&J has just been doing awesome though, hasn't it? I was really surprised or pleased by that. It looks like the fetch is up. Oh, I'm in the Bitcoin pairs right now. So let's go to the USD pairs and check them against the 24-hour. Definitely have double-digit green day. So yeah, this is a good sign. I didn't realize that was just on the Bitcoin pair. So for Bitcoin pairs, we got to wait for Bitcoin dominance to come down, for that's really advantageous for us to stack our sats. In other words, where altcoins outperform Bitcoin. It's not quite there yet, but the altcoins all these lower ones are looking good. Looks like we should have some good trading going on right now. ORAI, that one came up. That's good. It was around just a little under $4. Been trying to pick up some of that and play it on DeFi and get it staking, because it's got some pretty good rewards on that right now. So just kind of checking this out. This is something to do. Keep an eye on. And when you see some, if you find some that you scroll down and find some that are around between 5, 7, 8%, those are usually some good ones to look at that you can kind of get into. Now, when you do that, you're not catching the bottoms. It's like JAR. Let's take a look at Jarvis. We get rid of this and pull up Jarvis, which I think is working with Telegram, if I'm not mistaken. So we can find something that's starting to move. So we're not nailing the bottom, but by doing that, it lets you know where momentum is. So if you start seeing it, all the green coins start coming into play, and then you go check out the charts on them and see if it's something worth messing with. And right now, Jarvis looks pretty good. So Jarvis is a good one. Because on the daily, we just found support on the 200. So if you haven't got in on this one yet, right now's a good time to look at it. Now I am seeing the 50 cross over the 100. A little concern there. That's normally not a great sign, but since we got support here, and we're up above our 9 or 21, we're headed up here to retest the 50, and when we make it past that, we'll retest the 100. Make it past that, we could be looking at a lot more upside there. So basically, in a following wedge type pattern, see if we take it from the wicks to wicks. Going from the wicks, it can get ready to break out, although it could be a fake out. So to rule out a fake out, you draw from the top of the wicks, because then that's the line in the sand it's got to get over. So, and that lines up with the 50 moving average. So that's what I'd want to see on that. So if you were doing a breakout trade, you'd wait for a breakout there and then a retest of this area before you would buy in, and that would be somewhere around 0.0034, 0.0035 in that area. But this one's looking interesting to me. Let's come down to the 4 hour and see what's going on, just to see how likely it is to break up there. And here we found support on the 100. We broke up above it. Moving averages are starting to look good. The 9's starting to cross over them all. It's going to cross over the 100. Retesting the 200, break up above that, and we could break out this whole pattern. So this is looking kind of cool. Let's see what we got here. And on the 4 hour, there's the actual breakout of that. So it could come back down, retest this area, and then come up for this other pattern we were looking on the daily, retest that, and find some more upside. So Jarvis is kind of looking cool. see if we can get some targets. I think I'll post this one. This one looks like a decent setup to post. Consider that a partial decline. So from here to here, and at that point, if you can see it, let me get that moved over. So this trend line, and then you can see we got a level here, a level here, a level there. So that makes a descending triangle, broke to the downside. And you can take a measure move from that and see how well that plays out. But when you pull the fib from swing high to swing low right there, the little thing that I was showing you on the scalping strategy, I mean, it came out to play here. Got a hiccup at the -2.7 and at the -414, and it bottomed out at the -618. So love fibs, and that's exactly how I use my fibs. I don't see many people doing this, and I first got turned on to this. I got turned on to the -2.7 watching a what was it? A forex trader, because you know he just had this magical had this magical level already set out. It says, "Watch this, watch what happens," and you know it's kind of bragging a little bit, but price just went right down to it, bounced. I think he had an order field there, and then it just took off and went the other direction. I thought, well, that's cool. I want to start watching that and seeing how that plays out. And that's what I've learned over time. -2.7, and then even the 618s and the 4.1. The price usually will bounce off of these. When you lose a major area, these usually come into play, and it somehow ties in. And I don't have a full grasp of this, but we start getting into harmonic trading. And it plays into that. So this is kind of like maybe a shorthand or shortcut version to kind of get online with that. So it's something I can't really fully explain. It's just something I can experience, and I know from a fact that these work out very well. So that's just part of my strategy. But we are in a falling wedge, and so let's go ahead, now that we've established that we got that kind of thing going on. Then I will take a fib from the whole thing, and we'll just put these little targets out at those fib levels. And when you take the whole run, now that we have the full pattern, top to bottom, you can see that that was a 382 area. And so now we've got to break up. That's going to be our serious area to look at. We got to break up above that 382 to remain bullish and recover that ground. Let me go ahead and mark those. And let's put a few little buy areas here. Also use the fibs for that. Go from swing low to swing high, and look at the 786. Look at the 618, and look at the 0.5. And you can also look at the 382. If price does find support there, it's usually a bullish sign. If it finds support there, it most likely won't come back down to the other areas. So let's cover those in green. And this is my method to actually doing a trade setup. This is how I do it. These are the things that I look at, and they usually play out fairly well. So let's see if we can get a good shot of this. And this is Jarvis. I'm going to make a copy, go to the little camera, and copy the link. Pull up our trade setups. And let's go with Jarvis. So on KuCoin. And this is the 4-hour. Buy targets in green. Sell targets in red. And we'll just paste that link, and then it throws me up a picture. And the setup's right there. So, Donna, if you're still here, while I'm thinking about this, I didn't get a chance to read when I was asking about the moderator thing. Let me see if I can do that real quick. I think I have to do it from the regular chat here. And will it let me? Ah, there we go. All right, Donna, I need you to type something. See if you got a blue wrench by your name. It doesn't show it on Chat Ninja, does it? But it. Well, it's right here. I can't get it unhighlighted though to really show it to you, but yeah, you got a wrench, so we're all set there. Okay, and let's go back with NEBL. And I think we were on Binance, right? Nope. Yes, no. Okay. Maybe it was Gate.io. Okay. I want to post this one too. But what I was gonna say, I've seen you do some charts, and I've seen the other guys do some charts, and where we're getting our percentages, right? Like this, but when I take a picture of it, it doesn't come in my picture. Let me actually get that the way I want it, and then I'll try that. Let's do. That area. Oh, look at that green dot there. Yeah, definitely got support here. Man, I want to Jones into this one right now, but I don't. It's not on my exchanges. All right, so that was too high. So where we are now. So just right there, 65%. Now, if I try to copy this for a trade setup, when I copy image, I don't get anything. Let's see how this does. See, that was possible. What was it, 87% return or gain? So let's paste that. Probably can't see what I'm doing there. What I just did there. Post that. And when I post those charts, it doesn't show me my percentage. I don't know how people are showing that. So I haven't got that figured out yet, but I'd like to be able to show the percent gains. And I've had no luck with that. And Donna's celebrating her moderatorship. Use the icon where the long and short positions. Use the icon where the long and short positions are. Okay. And I guess you're talking about this guy. I think I've tried it with that too. Is this what you're talking about? 2 icons above the measuring tool. That one, okay. You think Neville is on Mex? Oh, if it's on MexC, then I'm it. Let's go see. I don't think I got any money left over on MexC though. I don't think I have any free capital over there at the moment. Do I? $15. I have $15. NEBL. All right, let's look at this little guy. What are you doing on the 15-minute? You're flagging out on me. Man, that looks good. Stokes are down. We're flagging out. That's a bull flag. It's got a measure move on that little guy. So that takes us above our area about $1.10. If that plays out. Well, let's see, we're finding support here at the 21. White, the 100 just crossed over the 200. 15 looks awesome. 15 looks beautiful. 1 minute's bumping us out of the Ichimoku cloud. It's going to come here and retest this area. 64 cents. So that would be a breakout if it does that. Normally I would set orders and wait for it to hit, but right now got to free up some capital. A whole $15 worth. There's a chance. No, or is there? Looking at the 5 minute, we got support on the 9. Kind of fighting with the 21. There's a chance it can come down to 47. And that's at the 1. Okay. And that was across it. So I'm going to actually do 2 different orders. I'm going to do half of it right there, about 47.6 is what I'm going to go with. Put half in there. And I'm going to take a chance, even though I believe it is going to come down, just to get a little skin in the game. And that way I can kind of build a position. But just in case, I'm going to put my other half in right now. So that gave me about 13 of those little guys. All right. So let's see if we can get this posted. Because you can actually put a tight stop loss on that, couldn't you? Oh, it's not that tight. That's 39%. That little bitty move right there is 39%. That's crazy. On the 4 hour. Well, that's too big of a stop loss. Now I've lost my... Oh, that's all the way over there. Ooh, that's too big of a stop loss. Anyway, getting up to here. Let's see if it'll take a picture of it now. I will copy link and try that. And that's the same thing I've been having. I get the shaded areas, but I don't ever get the percents. And I think even when I take just copy the image, I don't think I get anything. And for some reason, when I do that on my computer, I get these little pictures that you have to blow up, and that irritates me. So I try to post a lot of my pictures from my phone because it doesn't do that. And I know that's some kind of setting that I did here on Telegram, and I haven't been able to figure out what it was that started making this happen. Okay, so we can just delete those. But I do have that one set up right there. And I'll leave this one there too. Let me put NEBL. This is what, though? 1 hour. All right. Open it up. It'll give you options. Date and price range are below the long short. Open up the options. You'll screenshot them, send me to say, okay, cool. I'll take a look at that after the stream there. Try to get this figured out. All right. Well, we're down to 3 people. I'm grateful that you're here. It is midnight now. Let me give you guys just a few minutes. If you want to take a look at anything, be happy to do it. But I've pretty much ran out of anything that I want to actually really look at. But I'll be happy to look at anything if you guys want me to pull something up. Taking a quick look at Kadena here, my own Bitcoin. It's not showing up there. Kadena is one of my long-term holds there. I haven't looked at it in a little while. Let me see what's going on. I knew it came down a little bit, about under $1. Now it's over $1 now. We had this Adam and Eve there, and that did good. It came up here and flagged out. Typically, that's when you start taking off, but we lost our neckline. And sometimes it happens, and you'll see them come back and redo a bottom. So, no big deal when it happens. It just draws it out a little bit. It's a possibility that happens with some of these bottoms. We'll come back and then retest those bottom areas. And seems to be what's going on with Kadena. It's one I think will do well, though. Is it kind of round? Kind of, a little bit. But I've got a lot of this staked and some of it over in DeFi. And then I've got some of it, the biggest majority of my Kadena is stuck on crypto.com because they don't have a way to get it off of there. And that makes me wonder, if you have a coin like that, I'm sure that they've got it, but technically you could have it and not really have it if you can't get it off. If you wanted to be a shady exchange, I'm just saying. So hoping to see some things out of Kadena that has not really played out well. But this thing, I believe Kadena can do very well. I think the all-time high was, I remember seeing it around. How high did Kadena get? I've already forgot. Because there's 1 billion coins. Now that should be able to get up to, man, technically you can get up to about $25 with that, but lesser known coin or whatever, you can look to 5 to 8 definitely. see what his all-time high was. I've already forgot. It's been a while since that. All-time high is $28 last year. So that's one reason I like it. If you can do that again, 28x, I'm for that. I was actually picking some of this up way back here. I've just held it and got it staking and trying to put it to work. Not a member? Hey, I've been lurking. Happy Friday. I'm reading Binance is delisting Nebel on 418. Are they really? They've been delisting a lot of coins lately. I know they delisted Jasmine. That's interesting. I wonder why. What they said about Jasmine made me kind of question if it was a solid project or not, just the way that they kind of phrased it. About something about it just didn't meet their standards. Usually it's just low liquidity that kind of does that, but or it being feared to be a security or something. I don't think Binance really cares about that. For real. I mean, they're out of U.S. jurisdiction technically. How do you guys feel about the attack on crypto? And I was giving kudos to I guess the EU, because it looked like they were doing some positive regulation, some of the things I read. And then the WF had that big meeting in Davos, and cryptocurrency was one of their topics, and now it seems like all of a sudden everybody's starting to change their tune. The WEF and all that pisses me off. And it's because in the countries where we have elected officials supposed to represent us, what in the hell are we doing at global conferences like that, letting them dictate to us ESG and every other little thing that they have going on? It really gets my goat. And then I'm talking to my wife a few weeks ago, and she's all excited. And she's telling me about some great things that the World Economic Forum's doing with this and this and this. And we're also on different sides of the political aisle too, so that makes things interesting. I'm more conservative. I don't actually belong to any party, but I do have conservative values. Raised conservative, had a little bit of a liberal mindset there, I guess, where just when you're a teenager and just want to do, or young adult and don't care, but you get older, you go back to your roots, and those conservative values mean something. Family means something. Your country means something when they act right, and also God being the very first thing in my mind. God, family, country, home, being there for your kids, Now I remember had kids turn conservative, and it's a good thing. We need some of that now. Everything just went a little bit too far left. And I'm just, stand back and look at where I live in this country and what direction they're headed, and I'm like, it just seems very apparent to me that organizations or possibly other countries that lean toward, those socialist and communist bias have just really dug their claws into some of our politicians, I think. I'm not trying to get political here, though. But when we start getting away from what our country was founded on and those principles, that scares me. Donna says, crypto tech is what's needed to solve the world problems. I agree. And I think that's one reason why they don't want it, because that throws them off of their engineered problems that they want to throw at us. When you hear about these things doing a simulation for something, and then a few years later, those actual situations actually come to pass, whether it's, you know, some virus or some attack or some infrastructure attack, or just, I don't like it. All right. Let me pull up Bitcoin just to take one last good look at this little guy where it looks like this is the chart I was wanting to pull up. I was talking about earlier where I was talking about all the fib levels that we did back in, this was November, because I was charting on this one and then I got off and got onto KuCoin or whatever. But what I want to do, just kind of go to the daily, zoom out, because those levels whatever levels that I had, you know, I just want to see how valid they turned out. And they, even back then, and this is fib levels I'm going with, right? Fib levels measure moves. And I had buy zones and sell zones. And everything seems to have played out very well. All these were major levels, support, resistance. This one here, resistance, flipped it to support. So all these fib levels, and this one here, that one worked out perfect, came down and came back down to this. It's just crazy how this stuff plays out. And so I've been wanting to keep this one open just to see how these things play out over time. And here's a level, so, you know, we had marked, flip that into support there. And then these other levels I had marked out. So what have I got? 31,689. And then 37,404 for a measure. How far do I have targets on this? So I'm just looking at this one as just kind of like maybe a prediction, just to see how those levels, the work that I did in November, just to see how it stands up. And so far it looks like it's done pretty well. And it's not me, it's just the techniques I'm using fibs and measure moves and just your basic TA. So, I mean, TA works. It does. And I'm of the stance that anybody can do it. And I was of the stance, you know, when I first got into it, I thought, oh, this is the secret, learning TA, and that will give me everything. And then as you start getting into the charts and learning how to read and how to do the TA, you learn that's not the real enemy. The real enemy is your emotions and playing with that. And after going through that, I'm finding, well, yeah, TA and your emotions, but dang, that trade management really plays a big, huge. So I'm kind of involving the way I'm looking at things too. And now I'm putting a lot more weight on trade management. So it's just interesting how we all kind of evolve and grow as traders and everything. All right, guys, not seeing any more coin requests, so I think I'll just go ahead and end the stream. And I just want to say thank you for showing up and thank you for your support. And if you hit the like button, I want to thank you very much. And let me get Elvis to say that.
For those of you who have been hitting that like button, I just want to say thank you. Thank you very much.
I need to take some time and do some more little crazy things like that. All right, guys. I appreciate you, not a member. Appreciate you, Donna. Appreciate you, anybody else that's still here. And thanks for stopping by, and we'll catch you again on the next one. Good night, everybody.
I don't always like videos, but when I do, I always prefer Road Dog Crypto. Trade wisely, my friends.